Hi folks, Gary back here with George and Lex, as you can see on True Form. We're just going to move you to part 2 now of Exmoor Fisheries. But just before we do, I'd like to explain that we're about to see the outside of the fisheries now, where the fish are outside in the larger pools. Just before they come into these larger pools, a little bit you couldn't see inside the fishery, because there's no fish there at this stage in time, is a big pool at the end. And that big pool allows the fish to adjust from being in the raceways to a larger space in which they can swim. And also the roof folds back and they can introduce the fish to daylight. So it's not just a straightforward bring them from the raceways and throw them outside. There's a photo period, there's an adjustment period. I'll stop babbling, let's have a look at part 2. So these fish now have gone through the photo period in the lagoon pool.
So they've gone through the lagoon and then they've been injection vaccinated against enteric redmouth basically. And then this is their first sort of experience living outside. They are still on spring water though, so then they'll be in here from about 30 grams up to about 100 and so grams. And then they'll be moved down onto the farm, onto the river water for the first time.
These are the brood stock now, are they?
Rainbows are about the same broods.
Right. See these girls.
So this will be where the eggs come from next winter.
So do you take the first lot of eggs and breed from that, or?
So they're stripped 2 years old, but the eggs the quality of the eggs is good. And then once they reach 3 years old, we take the eggs and actually we fertilise, incubate, triple those.
Wow. And then it's huge quality.
And a larger egg from the start sort of thing, and it just.
Water's just bubbling with fish. Look at them.
I still want to see you. He's supposed to have retired, guys. Look at him. Hey? Look to his eyes as usual. All the best to you, buddy. As you can see, guys, this is coming down into the bottom of the valley, and behind that valley there is Wimble Lakes. Wimble being the heading waters of what you see down here, supplied by the river. As you can see now, the fish are very used to human beings, and any human being means food. Feed me. Look at them, all massed together and fighting. Also, as you can see, go around the outside, we've got the mandatory otter nets, heron nets, etc, etc. Try and keep the predators at bay. As I say guys, normally this water will be clear, but Andy's just been cleaning the stream out of plant and debris, hence he's disturbed all the muck in the bottom, and it's just coloured up. Not for very long, just like our waters, the spring water and the water from Wimble will soon push this muck away, and it's going to be crystal clear again. Just ask why all these fish here. It's quite simple, the water's flowing, the food's flowing, anything that they can get their hands on or teeth on, they're going to eat. So they're in the fresh fast water are quite happily grazing away. Yeah.
The salmon. Come do it again, mate.
These tanks, you see here, the raceways, this is where they'll typically grade the fish out, pop the fish in here, and those will be where they could be stored for a few days before they come to us. They come to us obviously with no food, empty bellies, so as not to pollute the water in transit, and this is where they will stay, having been selected.
Why are they doing that?
Nature, they just will, they'll climb, they'll travel the rivers and rocks. What they do, they're salmonoid.
Oh, I think he's going to make a run for it. Look at him over there. Go on, fella. He's thinking about it. Now, on one side of the net. Okay. Wow.
Great to have a look around. I'm sure all the guys back home and across the YouTube channels will enjoy seeing how all this works. It's not a lot of people have got insight to it whatsoever, so it's great to see how it all works and what goes on. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So about 15 million gallons a day
from the river,
Right.
straight in and straight out, goes through once, falls under gravity, goes out. So the oxygen levels are good. We keep them up, we check them in, check them out. If it's really reduced, we're not releasing out of the lake. Releasing 500 litres a second at the minute,
Right.
which is easy, gives us more water than we need. We're wasting some of their own sluice gates. At its worst scenario, a couple of weeks ago, when it was really, really dry and we weren't releasing it, we'd be down probably 10 million up. Then we've got the hatcheries set up spring water, so we own some land over there with springs on it. We pipe it through and pump it up into the hatchery. That's about litres a day. Spring water that comes through that then goes into the river water. So literally in, straight out down the bottom, every single day. Spring water up, but as I say, the river. So the fish are always swimming because it's always a flowing water.
Yes. Yeah.
As I say, the weed problem in the ponds itself isn't too bad, so I've just obviously been cleaning the leak out at the back where the water slows down and then the sediment, the dirt drops.
Yes.
And then once a year we dig it out, as I've just been doing it, and that obviously keeps the weed and the leaks down. So in effect it filters itself as it
Yes.
comes through.
Well.
Yes.
Brilliant. Darren thought he was going to get away with this whilst he was down at the farm. He snuck off and hid, but we got him here now. In there, yeah.
Oh, here they come. Please, Darren, wait a minute. Go.
In this video we talked about the proteins that excrete into the water on the fish whilst they're being delivered. What you can see there is excess oxygen building up the bubbles, and that's Darren trying to hide on back scene there. Oxygen building up the bubbles and just foaming out the top of the tank.
No?
Oxygen, I have that.
The poke from Darren and away he goes.
As you can see there, this is just off the iPhone, so I'm not using any Polaroid lenses, but as you can see there's some beautiful blues coming in, and the one that's just swum out there is a typical example. Absolutely stunning. So this is the last load of fish going in from Exmoor. I'd just like to thank everyone at Exmoor Fisheries, Darren included. It's the end of the line, but there's a lot of work, as you saw last week and the week before. There's a lot of work to create all this. So thanks to Andy and the team at the fishery itself. They do an awful lot of work and provide us with excellent quality fish once again. There is a link to Exmoor Fisheries if you want to look on and see. Andy does a monthly YouTube. Might be interested in watching that and see how it's all done. See you now and then. Tight lines, guys.